What's up, everybody? Good morning. It is Friday, Non-Farm Friday here at Policing Pips live stream. I'll be your host with the most, as always. We are waiting to get to this open. We have flushed down off of that non-farm miss on that print. Unemployment has ticked up. We kind of creeped into that lower end of the channel, like I mentioned in the chat there. If you are up on the day already, if you made money on non-farm, I don't trade the news events. That is one of the many don't do dumb shit things that I have learned to avoid. Yes, you can make quite a bit of money on them, but you could also lose quite a bit real quick. Dealing with slippage and stuff like that. A lot of people don't realize that when they are in these combines and in these XFAs, they are not trading technical live markets. When you've traded live markets before, you understand that the slippage is real. Fills are way worse. So I've been in that Top Step Discord trying to I kind of check it every morning to make sure that Top Step X is working, things are making sense on that end. So I usually check it, and I can see people complaining about slippage, all that. They didn't even get really slipped. They're just complaining to complain because they did dumb shit. Trading that non-farm, doing dumb shit, liquidate your account. Sorry. Learn to avoid it. Learn to not do dumb shit. You can use this information to your advantage, right? If we could kind of clean this up, I don't know if we're going to be able to get below it because of the way we reacted off the bottom. 544 I do have as a kind of a key price level. This purple box is from previous trading sessions, so I didn't just draw it up. 550, 544, 500. It would be nice to come back down into there. Let's see what happens on this open. I would love for this to flush down, kind of trap some shorts, and then we can rotate that long off of that 500 number and then see if we can start chipping away. Don't be dumb. Don't do dumb shit on this 100K funded while we wait for our 50Ks to get paid out. It seems like they're a couple days behind. They got a lot of issues going on with support, so I'm waiting. Yeah, you're up 1,000 on a Friday. from the London session. Do not force it. I did say I was trading a combine. That combine's up from yesterday. We're up about 1,200. And those are the things. Those are where I work on things. I don't work on things within these XFAs. It's all right if it's a combine, right? You're going to make it back, and then you're going to profit off it when that time comes. I believe in you. Oh, they'll definitely pay. I know they pay 100%. What's the question about the 5-account rule while we're diddling in the middle between our levels? Hopefully we can push down through this overnight low and then kind of trap shorts through that that non-farm low. 544 would be a nice bounce point. They will pay. They have paid me in the past. They will pay again. So you can have 5 total active XFAs at a time. You can pass as many as you want. I mean, I don't think you need to pass too many. But let's say you have 5 active and you have 5 waiting. You have 30 days to pay that activation fee. Even if you pay the activation fee, those 5, like let's say you lose 2, you can you can load those 2 into the bottom so you can capitalize on those 2 to kind of come back and fill you up to the top to the 5. So you're allowed to pass more than 5. You can't have 5 active at one time. So you can have more than 5. So if you have 10 passed, 5 just wait in the background in the servers of Top Step, and they just linger in the background. And then if you go, say you get moved to live and they take all your 5 XFAs and all the profits and they move them into the live funded account, then you can rotate those 5 that you already passed up into XFA, trade the 5 XFAs, and then also trade the live funded account. That's from my understanding of what some of the other guys like Rips and stuff like that. That's what they've said about that. I think Austin Silver does the same thing. Yeah, you pay the activate, so you don't get billed. Once you pass, you don't get billed the months. XFA is the funded, express funded account. That's what they call these, express funded. They just kind of shorten it to XFA, Scrooge. So you pay the activation fee. You have 30 days. Once you pass a combine, you have 30 days to pay that 150 before it disappears into the abyss. So if you pay that activation fee right away, you just have that account sitting there in the wins waiting in case you need it. If you never need it, then that's great, right? Then that $150 doesn't really matter. It's just kind of sitting there, and you have past accounts. You show consistency, you show profitability, you show that you can build an account over time. They're going to move you to a live account with your balance. That's going to put you in live data feed. You're putting it on the books, like all that. You're booked. You're using their actual real money, not any sort of sim environment. And so you're moving all of your funds from here, proving that into the live funded. The benefit of going to the live funded, so you still got to pay the activation fee right away. You just can't use it until you blow the other 5 and move to live. Well, you could. So every time you blow one of those will creep in, right? So hopefully you don't blow all 5. You blow, or you move some to live, right? Let's say they move your highest balances to live, and then you still have a couple XFAs sitting there if you want. Otherwise, you could just move 5 into there. So that's what some people are doing. I'm not doing that. Obviously, I don't even have my 5 right now. I have 3. I'm working on 2 more. I'll get all 5, and then I'll start copy trading 5. Once I go live, honestly, if you don't pay the activation fee within 30 days, they disappear. So you have 30 days. You don't have to pay it that same day. You can pay it within the 30-day time period. It's all right. You're already up 1,000, right? You're up 50 points on it. If you're on a 50K combine, then you can't make more than 500 anymore anyway. So if you get a nice big drop, then secure your $500 and move on and enjoy your weekend and have a good day. I think that if we flush this overnight low and push into that 500 area, down into here, give us some time, maybe S&P's gets that 53.76, then we can start to catch this bounce up over here. This is the 100K. I am going to try and dig myself back out of the hole in this one. And like I said, I have a 50K combine. Yesterday I made about 800 on this after the stream. And then I did some aftermarket work stuff that I was just checking levels and whatnot. I made 470. So if I do switch over there, we still haven't made any trades on the 50Ks. You can be done after you flush this overnight low and then secure it and then go ahead and take the long if you wanted to on a micro, if that's going to be your plan. If you have a plan to capture 70 points times 50 cents a point, 50 cents a tick, so it's 70, 80 bucks. 60 points. Well done. What a wonderful world it would be. Good job there, Jofi. Always, I really enjoy Jofi's profits. And I enjoy his trader mentality, right? He's always like, I'm up $1,000. I'm probably not going to trade. And then boom, I'm in a position. So it's hard to turn that off, right? And not in the sense that, like, you know, he's doing stuff to mitigate his losers, right? So he made 1,000 on minis or whatever he made it on, and then he switched to a micro. He got to get that urge out. He's a little crazy. To be a trader, you got to be a little crazy. You got to don't do dumb shit. The new mug, beautiful thing here. Don't do dumb shit. But Jofi did a good thing here, right? He said, okay, I'm still here, still in the New York session, see a really good opportunity of a continuation of a trend line break, really is kind of what I see he played here. And I did it on a micro, right? I'm still able to execute. I'm able to limit my risk to basically nothing compared to what I have made on the day. And I'm still getting that fix in on if I'm going to make my trades or not. So that's really, you know, a good way to do it. Awesome, Scrooge. You're definitely going to pass. If you stick to this, you know, to your strategy or whatever you're doing, but you get to the point where you just, you know, you keep locking out, right? You know, I know the last couple of days you were up $200-300 locking it out. You're going to see that compound really quick. It screws you sometimes. I've definitely seen you say you've been in a funk or you're doing some weird things. But at the end of the day, you just wait for it. And when you see it, hit it. If you don't see it, sit on your hands, right? For me, I could have easily hit into that at 550, but because of the support at that purple box, that's a longer term area. But I have to be patient. I have to let my levels come into play. If my levels don't come, they don't come, right? I don't have that opportunity to do other things. That's the only way I'm going to stay consistent. This technically right here, that white line there, prior to non-farm, that was the overnight low. So this is going to be a somewhat reactive level, that 41. It's just not the official overnight low because my official overnight low came after non-farm, right? The non-farm range there is kind of what I'm playing. Technically, right, speaking, you can see that Jofi shorted the overnight low. So he did short a key level of mine. If non-farm didn't come in this Friday, we likely wouldn't have seen this breach. We did see it with that negative print, a tick up in unemployment. So you are getting heavier market behavior. I do think maybe we can get down through that non-farm, trap some shorts into thinking that they can short this non-farm number. And then because of the continuation from, you know, the whole week selling off, that could push us down into that 480 something, 480. If this continues on and accepts back above VWAP and starts rotating, then I missed out. I didn't have an opportunity to short it. Is that your level right there, Jofi, that 41? Yep. I kind of saw that starting to set up, but realistically to me, like I said, I'm going to be super strict on my levels. I'm not going to be executing away from them. Could execute off this white line right here, but it's a little less probable because of the way non-farm just melted right through it, right? You make me... Yeah, that's a really nice setup right there when you see this, especially with the ability for it to be breaking back down through this, you know, quasi trend line here, right? That we impulse move down, we stair step back up, double topped it, failed to break that high again. Once you came back down to that low, that flush comes in heavy. You're able to secure your profits there. And then now you're running that rotation back to VWAP, and now you're going to see what happens when S&Ps gets to VWAP. This probably pushes up into there, and then when VWAP happens, you see what goes. How are they in Dubai? I'm sure they're very beautiful. Oh, man. I really wanted the longs, and they just didn't get to my level, unfortunately. NVIDIA is creeping up to over pre-market highs. It's kind of pumping now. Sometimes, oh, you got to be careful. Some of those. Oh, absolutely. They're definitely there for money. It's the only reason you go to Dubai, right? One of the richest places in the world. No position for me yet. We could have started seeing the turnaround right there, that V bottom at 18,540. This is the non-farm range here, this white line down to the yellow. That was the entire non-farm range, which is about to get cleaned up. I really saw this coming kind of just based on where we were at. 544 was my key level that I have drawn up over here. So you can see that 544.75 that I have drawn up. Wicked it, bounce. Same deal. Could have kind of came in and got involved around this level because bounce. 544, 544, 544. You know, this bottom, the low on that is 42.50. 42.50. So came right to that 44, rotated right off of it, and now back down. But like I said, that's not my my level, and I'm not going to deviate from my plan. I'm not going to do dumb shit. I'm going to let it happen. The first big move, it normally reverses and recovers it all, like it did today. I absolutely agree. I think most of what happens during the non-farm number, especially the non-farm number, or any number that really makes just like the algos go wild. You know, if you watch this live, this initial candle went like this. It started here. It danced around a little. It gapped up to 40. I think there was like literally no orders in between. It gapped up to 40, pushed up to 60 in less than a second, then melted down into this low, then pushed back up into 40, and then it just sold off because it didn't really have like we don't know what we're going to do. And then once it picks a direction, it flushes hard on just algos, on just like, you know, and obviously, you know, retail that's trying to play along. If you believe that like a guy in like with $1 billion to move is trading non-farm, then you have a lot of learning to do, because that's not what they're doing. They're not out there sitting waiting for non-farm to come out and they're going to hammer 1 million orders to get this thing to sell off, right? That's not how this works. This is purely based on computer models and high frequency trading, which creates that, right? So what happens is whatever direction the market really wants to go, it may like whip it around and dump it off. And most of the time, if we're not in an environment where it's going to just push us out of like a range or something, it's going to just recover it and then move back the other way. That's why I really trusted the long from the low here. I wanted to see it flush the overnight low for my entry criteria, you know, for it to be an S&P, an A+ setup. But I just didn't have that, you know, it just never got through and into the yellow line. Obviously, that purple box became a pretty supportive level, and now we're going to watch it again. Still, I can't take my trades away from my levels, and that's fine with me. If we get down through this 18,641 and start to rotate and, you know, support 600 and rotate back to 41, technically speaking, this is my technical overnight low prior to the news event. So it is going to be a reactive level. It may support, but watch the S&Ps because they're low. They're at their low right now. If you go here, I'm going to go ahead and wait. All good, Jofi. Get used to just like getting stopped out. I don't know why. There's no reason to feel like shit about any of your ideas or what you're doing. Like this could easily turn around and run you over. You know, if you're up 25 points, you didn't trail. You're trading micros. You're trying to be scalpy. You're just trying to get that feeling out of the way of like executions, which is fine. If you're doing it on the micros, you know, you might be better off just locking out and going on about your day. There is going to be reaction. NVIDIA did run this high here and then start to turn over. So maybe we rotate down. If we can rotate this NVIDIA trade down, when we get to the overnight lows, like I mentioned, I think that the NQ could continue down based on this trend line here. We could get all the way to the bottom of the channel. 544 did act reactive, but you can see with this consolidation here, it reacted here, it reacted there, but we did get a heavy flush, and that was on a Friday. So watch out for that. They got that initial pump and rally, just kind of like today, right into the same level, and we melted through 544 and went down all the way to 277. So this is what I'm, going to be cautious of if we do that, because we are trending down. Like the whole week, like that week, we trended down, and that then led to the rally and the pop, right? That was the nice bounce from there. So this could be another area where, okay, big buyers want to get interested around that 18,300, 18,277. So we're in that area now. If 544 does give up, does it lead to that sell off to 277, or will we give up the bottom and then rotate back up to the high side? It's kind of a wait and see. Obviously, it is Friday. Last week, we did not execute until like 11:15, and that really kind of kept us, in a really great streak. I was very disciplined. I didn't trade away from my levels, and we're not going to do that today either. We're going to stick to our levels. We're going to do everything that we need to do in order to stay profitable. Like I mentioned, I still haven't had the funds get removed from the actual trading accounts that I have. They're still up over the where I requested the payout. So I'm not trading those accounts until the payout actually clears, so I can say I didn't break the rules, or do I anticipate max loss today on those accounts? No. If I stick to my plans and do what I got to do, I can make money, or if I make money, the rules don't apply. But if there's you got to think worst case scenario. If there's a platform issue, or you get slippage, or something happens and you dip below that 50% and you don't have that money in your account when they go to do the withdrawal, then they're going to deny it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and wait and not trade those accounts. I have another account I'm totally content with. Opening range here, right in the middle of the opening range. Let's be mindful of that. Let's draw it up. You can see these purple boxes acting very reactive. So I'm going to leave those ones there, and maybe I'll color the opening range a different color today. I'm going to go ahead and make this, the opening range is going to be a white outline with like a teal fill. That's going to be our opening range right now, since the other purple boxes are there. Jofi just crushing 10, 20, 30 points at a time, 60 points at a time on his micros, just absolutely shredding up the market. So he's seeing it well over in Dubai. Had a really a good day so far, up probably close to 1,500 already. So a very good day for the Jof man. I think you probably should stop at some point during the day today, right? Like you said, you're on a combine, you're only able to make about 1,500. You're pretty close to that limit. You're pretty close to that daily profit goal of, you can't make more than that in a combine, because then it just extends your days to passing, which is something that we don't want to do. We don't want to extend the days, set that daily profit target to $1,505, $1,510, so you don't really exceed it. And if you hit it, you hit it. It locks you out, liquidates you, and you're done. If you're up on a Friday, a non-farm Friday, where you didn't trade the news, or you didn't do dumb shit, don't do dumb shit mug, now available live. It's in the link is in the alerts. It's in the chat on the YouTube if you want to click over there. Check it out now. But otherwise, just keep doing the good things, day in and day out. Build that good habit, build that muscle of getting into the habit of, I'm up again, I'm going to stay in this, I'm not going to stay in this, I'm not going to trade any further today. Have a plan for the day, and then just stick to the plan for the day. That's going to be your best guide, right? For me, obviously, we could have rotated this from this 544 up through VWAP and not have any heat on it, but we never got to that overnight low to take the flush, to trap the shorts, to get my failed breakout strategy. So technically, here on a Friday, I'm not trying to do anything that's deviating from my plan. Like I did last Friday, I called out the S&P level shorts like multiple times, and I just never did. Yeah, I think you should close Top Step up if you're, like I said, how close are you to less than a 1K left on some anyway to pass? No need to push for an extra 150 today. Yeah, that's really what it is. Don't push if you can't. If you can if you have to trade another day anyway, if you're up almost basically to that limit, there's no reason to give anything else back on a Friday. Fridays are really days that most people are just trying to keep their money, not do dumb shit, not get in here clicking buttons. It's always fun to be in there. Let's go. Good job. You still have the Apex accounts, or are you starting to transition over to Top Step solely, or are you trying to do all the accounts? I'm waiting for my payout confirmation. This is this white line here is the overnight low prior to non-farm. So the same thing here on the S&Ps. We're kind of on the NASDAQ, we're sitting around that level, looking like we want to try and hold above it. NVIDIA found some support at 104.80, 104.50, I should say. Now it's trying to push down again. So maybe we can get NVIDIA to flush down into those pre-market lows, and then we can get the rally off that. Or, as I mentioned, we could flush this overnight low and go all the way down to 277. 277 is down here. Just kind of finish off this week with a nice heavy flush, right? We've touched it once, touched it twice. If you break through this overnight low, will that be a true breakout? That could be the question of the day. Is this going to be a true breakdown, or are we going to get that beautiful setup for our long bounce off of the 500 level, overnight low, and rotate back up? This entire week, we've kind of just trended down, right? Well, not the entire week, but Tuesday we bounced off the low of the channel, popped into that liquidity zone that I mentioned at 610, then rotated right back down off of it yesterday and sold off really heavy. Previous day low was gapped down and rotated, made a new low. Now we're gapping down below the low of Tuesday, so potentially the continuation type of move could come in. Hopefully Monday, but if it, Jofi, when you anybody in here, right? Like, we've all fallen into the trap of, I want to pass it as quick as possible. If you pass it sometime next week, that's cool, right? Like, then you'll have your accounts sometime next week. Is there a rush to, unless there's like a black swan event that you think you could have caught, otherwise just take that next day and trade it, right? You fall into that trap. Have you traded yet, Scott, today, or are you just rolling into chat? Not today. Good. I have nothing yet. You have non-farm high held as the high of the day here so far. Wait for that A+. Wait for that A+. Let's go. I love it. It's so funny because, the whole funding industry, with Top Step, Apex, My Funded Futures, Take Profit Trader, all these funding companies, they present like an ideal scenario for you to be like, I want to do it as fast as I can. I want to pass it as quickly as possible, and trap you into, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And even by with Apex pulling daily loss limits and some other things, it traps you into a mentality where you feel like you need to do it quicker when there's no time limit. They set arbitrary profit targets, so you get to that antsy feeling of I got to get there. It's a really good psychological trap, and if you could avoid the trap, you're going to pass so many of these things, and then you're just going to be able to start to really capitalize on getting funding. leveraging funding. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I want to try and build up as many fundeds as I can. And so I can just confidently trade them and you know, like have two that I take payout, wait for the payout, trade the other two. It's kind of cool. Was he encouraging that, or was he saying don't do it? Jofi, I would say to not do that because I think you should note, unless you're using a VPN or something, they'll start to notice those behaviors and they'll ban you from their account. So just be careful. The reason, Scott, that he encourages people to do that, Trades by Matt, is because he's paid a whole lot of money by Apex. No, Top Step will not like that. They can tell some of those behaviors and they ban people for that kind of stuff. So I'd say just work on leveraging your own money. Fucking do it. 5 accounts on your own. And if you have 5 accounts, you can leverage that so much. You know, you can make really great money. You know, I think you'd have to fly to England or use a VPN or something to kind of stop the tracking of it. But I wouldn't. I'm going to go ahead and not encourage it because I don't want to be the one to get in trouble. I'm going to denounce that thought right here on stream. But do what you do, but don't do dumb shit. Don't do dumb shit. Yeah, Scott, so there's a little known secret of the Trades by Matt, the Patrick Wylans. Anybody who's a influencer type with big followings that's pumping these funding companies, they are getting paid behind the scenes quite a bit of money, probably in the 6-7 figures, to say, hey, Apex, trade Apex, here's a code, right? And they get affiliate money on top of that, right? So they're a paid advertiser, plus they get affiliate money. And so they just try to pass 20 accounts at a time, and then they do because they have the money, because they're not really paying for those combines in general. So just note that if you see somebody encouraging you to trade 20 accounts at a time, they don't have your best interest at heart, right? Most people who trade futures should never even think about trading 20 copied accounts at once, right? If you have to activate 20 accounts at a time at, you know, on Apex, it's $80 a pop. That's a wild number. He gets you to use his code. He already gets paid by them in the background. He's making X% per person that he converts. And these people are burning accounts. And he's just getting constant rewards because they're trying to pass 20 at a time. They'll burn 20. They'll get a couple more. Yeah, they'll price it at $19, but they have people turning over 2, 3, 4 times a day. Right. So you got to understand that he is just a... So that diner, Scrooge, fun fact, that diner that they smoke crack at in the movie, I went to just before they demolished it. They got rid of it, but we were working in the city, and that was in Queens Brooklyn border over there, and we went to the diner and we sat at the table where they filmed it. It was kind of a little neat little nod to the movie, and then they destroyed it. They demolished it. I don't know what happened to it. Right, yeah, absolutely. Nothing against any of these influencer people or anybody getting their money or whatever. Like, do you? But I'm going to be the other end of it, and I'm going to try and be the voice of reason behind it as being a victim of all of that, right? Like, I've done that stuff. I've tried to pass a whole bunch of Apex accounts at a time. Like, they encourage terrible trading habits, and it really just gets you into a trap of I need to have more. I need to do it fast. I need to get it done. Like, they encourage that one-day pass. Like, most people that trade this should not be leveraging into 15 contracts, hoping to YOLO into one combine and one-day pass and then have 20 of them, because then they build the shit habits and then they burn it and then they just do it again and again and again, and they'll never even take a payout. And if they do take a payout, they'll take a very small payout once, and then they'll never pass, or they'll pass and they'll burn it, pass and they'll burn it. You know, the numbers make sense for Apex, and the numbers make sense for even Top Step, right? If people are burning accounts and they still have hope, they'll keep paying the activation fees, which does help payouts, I'm sure. They do have algos and stuff that are trading your copying your XFAs and stuff like that. There is ways they make money outside of that and with the profit splits. But I think for the most part, You just got to be careful with anybody telling you should be trading 20 accounts at a time. I'm trading 2. And, I just took a $2,800 payout. Like, I'm totally content with starting to build and build and build. I have 0 trades so far today. And I have work after this. I work all the time. Factory orders. Work, I work at 2. I will also do some coffee company stuff. Factory orders is negative 3.3, so we'll probably sell off a little bit. There was not any movement to that number at all, so don't even bother worrying about it. Here's the live data feed: 58150, 58150, 582. It's slightly off. 568, 569. Interesting. I do need to do that. So when it comes to XFAs and getting payouts from these companies, the beautiful thing about trading with these funded companies as opposed to trading your own money, if you were trading your own futures account, I think it's a 60-40 long-term capital gains, short-term capital gains. So there's a benefit to trading futures over stocks. When you trade for these companies, you're technically not trading your own money. You're trading the firm's capital. You're trading that for them as a contractor. So they're going to 1099 you. They're going to pay you all the money minus their profit split once you get to that point. And then it's up to you to worry about your taxes however you see fit. I would save 20% of all the payouts if you have to. We do have W-2 jobs, right? So you're going to get leverage that 1099 off of your W-2. And then also I have 2 businesses. So one of them is Policing Pips and one of that is the day trading coffee company. So I do have expenditures. It's taxed as 1099 income. So however your accountant handles your 1099 type of pay, it's up to you. Yeah, regular income tax. God damn, it's just not getting through that level. Streams of income, yes, and no, right? Still young, burgeoning businesses, but they will develop to become what they would, in time. I'm trying to develop them over years. I'm not in a rush. The W-2 job, the wife has a retirement. I have the trading. And then the coffee company, we're just growing slowly and steadily and, just staying above water until we can really start to expand and grow as a community here. I think as we grow in Tradecaster and as we grow my stream, we're going to start to build a little bit on that. Like I said, I don't get paid from the stream. Maybe when I get my affiliate link, I'll send it out and I'll start to take a little bit from that. But I don't think, until that day comes, I'm not getting paid for the stream. But eventually, maybe that'll happen. As this community grows, though, I want to grow it in a good way where I can, teach people good habits, do good things, have fun, keep you from executing and don't do dumb shit, as always. But I want to be able to grow this organically and have a good community where we can have people share and share and share, and then we can grow the coffee company and all that fun stuff. We have partnered with Lightspeed, the brokerage. If you are interested in opening a account, I will send you the link over with Lightspeed. We got a really great deal with them, but also at the same time, by promoting them, they're going to start promoting us. They're going to start using our coffee in their offices, and I hope to do that with more trading offices too. So I want to try and be the coffee that traders go to, be it prop firms, be it in their offices, brokerages, anybody who is in this world. I want to be their fuel provider. So I want to trade. I want trade. Yeah, Deck promotes here and there. He'll share it up every once in a while. I get hits here and there, but he doesn't drink coffee, so I don't really. Like I said, most of what I do, especially with what I want to do with, yes, I could do like flash in the pan type, advertising and pay these people and have them do things that I'm, really don't want to do. I want to get people who really enjoy it. I send out free samples and I want them to promote it. If people buy it and they promote it on their own, all you got to do is replace somebody's coffee habit with ours, because we do have some of the best coffee out there. I definitely put my money on it. I wouldn't drink it if it wasn't. And, you know, so that's what I like to do. I want to have people who enjoy it, who actually drink coffee, who can say, like, genuinely that they drink it, it works, I like it, I trade with it. Like, I kind of want to get away from that, like, model of false bullshit, right? I think a more genuine organic growth is a long-term game. You know, I could go big early and then kind of burn out, and I don't want to do that. And it takes money to do that, right? And right now money is going to other things. And we're going to see if this can finally break. If this breaks here, this might just go really heavily. I'm going to wait on this first pop. If it pops and goes above 44, then maybe that makes sense for a long. You know, it'll still be a valid setup. 79% short. So maybe it is good right here at the overnight low. If we can flush this low, let's get it. Hopefully S&Ps can flush it and revert right back. We are close enough. What's Delta doing? Delta's kind of heavy. Still up. You can see how high up it is compared to the previous swing low. So we are getting a slight divergence in Delta. We need to crack it and break and then return back the other way. The only thing that's concerning to me is that NVIDIA isn't at the 101.54 level yet. So I'm going to let this go until NVIDIA turns off of 101.54. You can see it here. NVIDIA needs a little bit lower, but it is at low of the day, so it flushed low of the day. I can take the first quick run at it if it wants to return real fast, but if it doesn't, it's probably going to go pretty heavily. And like I said, 277 isn't out of the realm of possibility today. This is right where we're at right now, is the bottom end of that channel too. So look at this here. Note that confluence equals confidence, but if this cracks and flushes, 277, 300 is it's not a crazy thought for today based on the way that kind of swept that up and came back. But I like the trap here. I like the trap. I like that it's heavy short, meaning that the retail thinks that they're going to get short. We're supported on the lower band of VWAP. You're starting to get some aggressive buyers step in a little bit. Alrighty, let's see. Later, Jovi. As always, don't do dumb shit. DDDS. Boom. $101.54, and I want that to kind of catch it and bounce, and then we can get that real nice run up. Right now, it does feel heavy. I don't know why that green line is down there. These are old green lines, but 53, 41, 25 must be an important level. Sometimes I see those. See you next week, Jofi. Enjoy Dubai for the weekend. I like it. Damn, I'm surprised that heavy short didn't rotate right away. I'm gonna need to get myself one of those outfits. I guess I gotta go to Dubai to do it, right? Come on down to 277 town. The heaviness could just continue, right? I said if 544 gives up, then potentially that is the case. If we could rotate through this non-farm low and go back up to 544, that's going to be my decision point right there. If there's going to be a follow-through or not in the reversion. But this doesn't seem like a failed breakout to me. This seems like it's confirming to the downside at the moment, right? That's what I said. This seems like if you took the short through 500, it could be pretty. I mean, you already be up 50 points on it. Not a terrible short. That was a really good flush. You got some size up above that's kind of trying to draw it in, but they're flashing and disappearing. So oh man, S&Ps is getting really heavy. Kind of talked it into fruition, right? The thought of that NVIDIA now finally approaching that number that I wanted it to. Oop. This right here. Because you have a problem, Scott. You have a knife problem. This needs to hit this 101.54 and rotate. Or we could rotate from here and start to just catch a bid and run. But I'm not chasing it, right? I want my overnight lows to give me that confirmation to push back up over that. If it's going to be another one of those where the overnight low gets me in and rotates down, I will probably flip short, but I think that we can. I did mention that that's probably a likely scenario. I gave it 10 points, 12 points through 500. So like I said, I'm not like super exact, precise with these crazy entries though. I want to get stopped in and I want it to be right quickly. If it's not right quickly, cut the loss, move on to the next idea, right? That's all I can do. It's all I can do. It's all I can ask myself. Don't try to catch the falling knife. Yes. So now you know what your dumb shit is, Scott. Don't do dumb shit. Did your mug come yesterday or is it today? No. Got the coffee yesterday. Good. Let me check your tracking number here. 277 is probably going to come into play, I think, today. Out for delivery is the Don't Do Dumb Shit mug, and you should have, the color morphing mug should be probably also coming today. It's in transit. It was supposed to arrive today, so it's at Friendswood Post Office, so you should get it today. Both of them today. So Scrooge, that's not necessarily doing dumb shit, right? So understanding the dynamic of price action and saying, okay, this happened yesterday because of this. Could it happen again today? You know, looking into where you're at. I don't know what levels you're looking for, right? For me right now, we're in between levels, so I don't have anything that I want to execute, but I could see why the short makes sense, right? Like I said, if it gets heavy through the overnight low, there's a good chance that 277 comes into play. And if you have a good entry and a good risk management, if you're able to kind of mitigate your loss. Oh yeah, so if you have no levels for yourself, right? If you got into a point where like, all right, I have no levels, then don't do dumb shit. Don't execute here, right? You've missed this entire, 50, 60, 70, 80 point move here. That's a large risk on a full mini. Even on a micro, that's a pretty big wide risk, right? You want to maybe come back into that overnight low. If you have a short bias, wait for the retest of that purple box, see if you come down and fail that overnight low. If you fail the overnight low again, then you probably get this. But you may never even get the chance to get that retest. And it's okay to not have any trades. If you miss trade ideas, yeah, you don't want to FOMO. You don't want to catch that falling knife. You don't want to do what Scott was talking about where he feels like he needs to do something because markets are moving. And like I always say, I try to remind you over and over and over again. I'll keep saying it. Just because markets are moving doesn't mean that you personally had a trade. Yes, there is a trade here. Could there have been a short from that opening range breakdown low? Yes. That's a strategy that people use. Right here, this short here is a strategy that people use. Do I use it? No, I did not use it today, and I'm going to stick to my normal strategy. And, like I said, I don't have my payout didn't clear my my leader XFAs, so I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And when that clears, then maybe next Monday, right, I'll be able to trade that account and be ready to go for that, with the safety of that happening. So, right, I'm trading a different account, trying to build it out of a drawdown because I've drew this one down a little bit. So right now I'm just going to stick to my normal Friday. It has to be a really, really good setup, right? This could lead to trapping shorts again, thinking that, hey, we're going to keep going short like we did yesterday, and nope, turn around and run all the way up to highs. So you never know what markets are going to do. Let the market tell you what to do. This is a good indication that maybe we won't flush lower, is that NVIDIA right here is holding this level very tightly. It hasn't given it up yet, right? This is a longer term level that I've had. I don't know how long ago I drew it up, but it was reactive there. It's reactive pre-market. If it's going to hold again, NVIDIA is the market right now for the most part. So if NVIDIA gives this up and it rotates and it gets, do you think that there's something that's going to drive NVIDIA below 100? What is telling us that NVIDIA needs to be below $100? That's a really key psychological level. So if we think that NVIDIA is going to get through 100, and start to melt off for some odd reason. What's the news on NVIDIA? NASDAQ falls 10%. Apple stock holds despite Mag 7 sell-off in pre-market. NVIDIA reportedly facing antitrust scrutiny over AI acquisition, alleged market dominance abuse. Doubt it. It's going to make any big difference. I think that you can see that 100 on NVIDIA is huge, right? If we flush into 100, you see where it stopped here. The low is $100.01. If this level gives up, watch that 100 level. If 100 can't hold, then our market's going to have a real problem today. 277 probably comes in, but I don't know if that's the case, right? We don't know for sure. We are watching it kind of curl right at our key zone. Just give yourself good risk to reward parameters and you'll be fine. 400 we just tagged off of. 18,392.50. Beginning of May, yeah. 400 level for sure. Surprise. Well done, sir. Was any of that on your XFA? One on the funded, one on the combine. So that combine is building its way back up, right? And you could realize how when you did dumb shit and you didn't just wait, you would have two of those today, right? So remind yourself that this is what happens. This is possible. The next day is always going to come, and if it doesn't come, then the accounts don't matter, right? You're dead. Fuck it. Who cares? So if you come out here, and you sometimes the copier doesn't work perfectly. So just understand that too. You know, you got to mindful watch the orders. Sometimes they slip. Sometimes they get a little bit different on the orders. 142 on the follower. That is a ways off. That's interesting. Just note that though. You can see now we're starting to get larger size here, building up. And look at NVIDIA. Woo-wee. If I was a fucking equities trader, I'd be crushing it right now. I'm not copying today. I don't have my payout cleared yet. Look at that NVIDIA. Beautiful move off of our level 101.54. That's a good confluence equals confidence reason to start looking for moves. We are starting to get bigger size, starting to fill up on the books. 20 at 55. I think we're starting to draw price higher. I'm not going to front run it. I'm going to wait for my level to clear out and see if that's going to happen or not. I think that this could have been a trap. If we get that same type of market move, like I talked about on Wednesday, I believe it was, or Tuesday, I made a little quick video on it, on if you break this type of wedge and you trap people above this level and then you stop them out below lows to gather more buys because the stops are going to be at the low and then rotate, it's going to rotate much, much harder. Just to note that if that's something that you're looking at. I am going to watch. This is like a good key area for my... If it's going to break, it's going to break at that point. I'm waiting. So it's not just like my copier or like the copier in general. Still, even though that's still a good little bump on your follower. If you have $600 on the day on your funded account, maybe lock it out. It's a Friday. You know, we might get trapped into this long and it might go for a while. If not, could give back some of that. Maybe if you're looking to risk 200 to make however much on yours, don't give back further than that. You know, don't give back one loser on your XFA, but I would lock out if I was you. And then if you want to keep trading the combine, then that's fine. Trade the combine if you think that that's what you want to do and keep executing. Yeah, I would just hold off. Like I said, sometimes it just gets a little funky with the copier. You just got to note it, right? Like my two accounts are slightly different, but not big, right? They were further off, and then one day the leader made a little less than the follower, so it kind of caught up. So the leader actually has less for 30. I'd say technically we've just been pretty precise over the last month and changed. What did you do? What did you do different that made that happen? Share the knowledge, share the wealth there, Scott, so we can all not make that mistake. You pulled your stop up too high too fast, and I thought you got whipped out, and then it kept going. You probably closed the follower. That's probably what happened. If I get to the overnight low, I'm looking for a squeeze long. Based on NVIDIA finding its low again and now trying to rally back up, I really do believe that NVIDIA could drag us up. If NVIDIA can get back to and close to high of the day, then I would anticipate this breaking through and getting to VWAP. That's kind of just my thought on it. Oh, I'm not on the right account. Here's that order. I am going to stop in and buy it. Just like I said, I'm looking for failed breakouts. I'm looking for rotations on days. If NVIDIA can come down and break through 101.54, 101.37, that little zone, then potentially the short comes in a little bit more. If you want that breakdown, retest short, and just continue the momentum from the week, you can do that as well. You could fade me. Just my strategy calls for that break of a key, failed breakout. I really like it more so in there, but if you get some sort of setup like this where you get a higher low, start to rotate through a trend line, crack that trend line, crack through a key level of 500, you should get a squeeze up over 500 because a lot of stops are going to be over that 500 level on that breakdown. So that's kind of where they're going to grab a lot of the stops and stuff like that. Thank you. You guys are leaving now? Hey. So S&P's is running into a key level of 53.41. NVIDIA is still dancing around that 103 level. It is the spot where it kind of bounced from this morning. If you look at it here, right, this level this morning, we kind of came back to it and rallied from there. We're right back to that level now here. If it can get over this and push into these 104s, I would anticipate our NQ to start to try and wick through this bottom end of the channel, try and maybe recover some of this. If we can get up over 44, then I could see this rotating even higher. If we reject 44, then down to 277 at some point will come into play. I'm going to be watching this for the break here and see if I get my entry. If not, then it is what it is. Like I said, I'm really just going to stick to my normal go-to strategy on a day like today. And if this starts to build momentum and start to rally back up, and if it clears through that level, that's an area where, like I said, stops will be. They're going to look to grab liquidity there. If it's just going to hunt me and dump, then I get hunted. But I tend to find that some rotation does occur on Fridays, right? Maybe like you start to do that. I know in previous weeks, it'll trend until like 130-ish, 130, and start to rotate back the other direction. So maybe that's the case today. Who knows? NVIDIA's stagnant at this level. Let's see what kind of delta we have here. You can see delta trying to make new highs, trying to push through the high while price is trying to move lower, right? So you have aggressive buyers trying to step in at these levels. So if you get down and through here and you can keep delta up in this level here, then you're probably going to get a squeeze push back to the high side just based on the buyers. There is some algo orders like dragging price upwards a little bit here. They're flashing up and down on the bid, on the ask actually up at 65. There's delta pushing. That is another really good thing to do on a Friday, especially if you've had a good green week and if you're kind of just not seeing it, not feeling it, lock out. There's no reason to trade. You don't have to trade every day. Like I said, it's just kind of up to you to make good choices, do educated, planned out decisions. And if things don't go your way, then it's fine. But if, manage your risk, manage your plan, understand what the market dynamics are, what are you looking at to kind of confirm what you're looking for. Yes, price action is slower. All of the news events have come and gone for the week. So the people who trade that kind of news driven stuff, they're really done for that volume being there. So now they're just either holding their positions until they get stopped out, and which also could lead to, if they're getting stopped at key levels, squeezes pushing us all the way back up. Am I a bear? Yes, I'm pretty much a perma bear in this market environment. But once you start to realize that the market is kind of made to go up, intraday, I'm just always pretty neutral, but trying to understand what's going on at that point and where we want to go, what the day wants to look like. And after non-farm there, being a negative number, kind of trapping some shorts here, you've cleaned up that entire non-farm move. Now you got down below the short. This whole number, yes, the number was negative. Yes, unemployment ticked up. Does that influence JPOW and the FOMC for September? Maybe, potentially. We got to see how next month goes with those numbers. We also know those are a little bit skewed, so I bet that FOMC knows that those numbers are skewed a little. So it could be actually worse than that. So they may be cautious, and then the market may know. So you can see we are starting to creep out of this trend line break. There is this support here. So if we do crack through this overnight low, I want to see if that'll be the reason why we squeeze up, right? I'm going to give it my normal 250 on my risk because I want to be below 500 if we do get up over that key level there. And then seeing what happens, right? You could have took that break of 460 and been basically even at 20 points and then let this thing ride. But like I said, I wait for my levels. And if my levels come into play, then I get going. If not, sometimes I get trapped in when we're extended like that, right? Gives me a good night. There's some size getting filled here. You get to 500, you squeeze through 500, then that good buying pressure could come back. And as I mentioned, 44, right? The top end of this purple box could be a really reactive level. So if we get up over that, obviously even's going to be already locked in. But watch what happens when you get to that level. If we do get to that level, you can see the reaction there and the reaction there. Tilt's only 65% long. That's basically 50-50. Once it creeps into 75% plus into that 80%, that's when I get a little concerned. I don't really get concerned too much when you're in this high 60s, low 70s, because that is, it looks long, so people are going to get long. Down here, it was almost 80% short and still continued on. So sometimes I trust it, sometimes I don't. If it's like 90%, 89, 85% long, yeah, I'm going to cancel this order. But right now, 62% long for me is kind of comfortable for the tilt, because it does make sense for this to go long through this key level, right? Through 500, so it should squeeze. If it gets us in and out, then, what are we going to do? But I'm going to get my stop below 500 if we get triggered in, and then we'll see what happens. NVIDIA is cranking now, trying to break through 104.50. This is where I want to see an action happen, right? If we can get through here, it should go quickly, hopefully up to 44. If this is just going to be a retest, rotate down, then we're going to be not entered, right? But if this is nice. I kind of like this rejection here, because when it does break, it should go quicker. Kiss me good night. Look, I missed this part, right? This piece of the move. In some of my combines, I may start to front run, start to test this strategy, see if it's going to work out, right, for me long term. Because, to secure this much of a move and then get to my level, I tend to get that move almost every single time, like clockwork, right? When it breaks, I get the break, I get the momentum on my side, get ticked in, and then I get stopped out before it moves, right? So right now, I set my stop a little bit further. So I enter in when it's actually confirming, but I could have grabbed already, 60 points to the high side and been very comfortable waiting to see if this is going to break out or fail. Below 500, we're going to risk that. Wow. Damn. Did not like me there. It wanted to grab my liquidity and come back down. There we go. I like how Scrooge has thought of the failed breakdown short right there on the retest worked out for. I only got $100 left to risk, so it's got to be kind of perfect on this. This 100K is just all but burned out. It's going to be one good trade at a time here. Could go over to micros, but I'm all good. Still want to see this get through here and hold. I need NVIDIA to hold over 103, 104.50. That's really where that's going to come into play. If Scrooge faded me, he's doing well right now. Could have shorted that and then now waited. Now back down below 500. I'll see you later, Scrooge. I appreciate that ability to kind of just lock out and get going. Yeah, it happens. I'm going to try it again. If I get stopped out, then this account's done anyway. So it's all good. I love you. This is going to be a really quick, tight trail to earn myself another trade if I get it. There's the squeeze right through it. Runs into that. Bottom end of that 20. Damn. Right into the 20 level. Could have took off like maybe 10 points there, but that's going to go. I feel like we're in that area where this is going to be a nice little push. Just slightly early on it, you're definitely able to. If I had full risk, I would have been able to kind of push that a little bit further, but I don't have the full risk. So maybe this rotation down. Breaks 500. No, I think my idea is still valid. That squeeze through up into the highs. It's a little bouncy for me. 930. I need to look at the... Delta's getting a little heavy. You do have the bottom end of this trend line here for the downside pressure. There's the good breakdown. You can see this developing here. I know. Well done on the 15 points there, Ray. NVIDIA's kind of trapped in this little 104 to 104.50 little range. If NVIDIA starts to break down and drag us down, then potentially we could see this pull back down, right? Like I said, but I do feel like maybe we can get up over this. Like it should want to break through this 500 and squeeze on up. Be-do, be-do. Mm-mm-mm. 2R red for Carlos. Hey, it happens, right? Like I said, the strategy works with timing, with confluence. Everything kind of lined up exactly how we wanted it to do. And now we're starting to roll over a bit. So maybe now look for that other end of it. If this kind of can close below here. Start to see Delta pour to the downside. Dun, dun, dun. Limit the risk on that. Screw it. We're going on it. We're going to catch it quick. Quick little mover to the downside. If not, we're going to be done with this account. There we go. Let it go. I'm really tight with the risk on this. Making a little tiny bit back at a time. Suede shoes. Making $10 back at a time on those. That didn't feel heavy enough for that level. Nvidia still can hold that 103 even, basically. Could be a nice area for it to continue on. Like I said, I do believe if we get through this overnight low and hold, you have to watch that 544. If 544 doesn't hold, then that's when you really get that chance of rotating bound to 277. I'm going to give it a few. Let it set up. No need to burn this. There's that heavier push to the downside now. Looking like that retest of that overnight low was a good short location just for continuation purposes. Still, that's, 40 points right there. Waiting to see what happens with NVIDIA, with S&Ps at this key support level here. Delta's not like really getting heavy, right? I'm not seeing a super aggressive seller here. If you get another higher low, watch for the push back up above. Then we can potentially make that push up higher. This is a very simple thing. Like I said, we could sweep that low and rotate out, or we could just make a higher low and continue to rotate. NVIDIA broke through that 103 and is either going to flush down through here, or it's going to grab that liquidity and pop right back up over 103. Let's see what happens with that, right? You can see it over here, NVIDIA. Like I said, taking this bounce. Okay. A new application version is available. It will update automatically in 1 hour. Do I want to do that right now? I don't think so. Let's see what kind of payouts they got going. Michael, Kyle, Danny. Wrong, Anthony. Not me. S&P's bouncing on that 53.41. We are cracking through that down sort of trend line again. Postpone that update for now. This buying here, like I said, that's where I've been getting myself a little bit out of it, right? I say I don't want to front run my levels a lot of times, especially on my 50Ks. Well, maybe it's good that I'm not trading those today. Maybe I'm a little bit off on these executions, but realistically, we're sticking to the plan. You get a really nice, good, ignition type candle here, and for it to roll over, it just means that our plan failed, and sometimes it doesn't work. Come on, come say hi. No yelling, because people don't want to hear your screams in their ear, but come on. Say hello. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Daddy.
What are you guys going to do today? You're going to go to read some books, go to the library?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, but it's a fire truck.
Oh, at the fire trucks. Yeah.
The fire truck library.
All right. Have fun, okay, boys?
But there's two libraries, not the same.
Bye, Enz.
Bye.
Bye, Max.
Bye, Noble.
See ya. Bye. Alrighty. They're going to the library. I'm going to stay here and stream till 11 a.m. Central Time. Friday trading. Our continuation seems to be coming in here. Just more sideways action around the overnight lows. We'll see if we can get more on it. I have room on this combine to up to 1500. I'm going to set the risk settings on this. Personal daily target 1505. Liquidate and block. save that. So now that this account, I don't want to go through it, just in case I do set something where I enter it and I get the targets that I want to see. Gotta get my VWAP adjusted. Looking for a possible bounce here at 53.41. Looking for this to either continue on and make new lows, or we're going to get that higher low and start to rotate out. NVIDIA did rotate up, kind of trap some people up there at 104.50, and now is rotating back down through that opening range type low there, looking to push into that 101.54 potentially. And then we can maybe get another decision there. The short idea here, paying if you stayed in it. I trailed out a little tight, but that's 75. A lot of times what happens to me on these drawn down XFAs, I kind of get really tight and tend to not let certain moves play out because of that. I could switch over to micros, but this 100K is having a hard time right now, so it's all good. It's not like I'm not executing to my strategy, but when I was copy trading these, the focus has been here. The focus has been on getting those A+ setups, hitting them in the morning, and then moving on. Yesterday we did that with the 100K, and then we didn't move on. We hit it, and then we traded again, and we gave it back, and then kind of just kept into this red streak on that account. But these leader accounts still solidly in a green streak. Just got to wait for them to come back. And I think realistically, I probably would have still took the same trade, but I would have allowed it, that normal $200 risk, and would have lost a little less, and then I would have had the opportunity to take this short through here without much contention, right? It's really just not taking much heat on it at all. If you could rotate through here, then potentially you get a higher low on NQ, you start to rotate back up. I don't think that is out of the realm of possibility. That 277 does come into play, though. 277 is down here in this purple box down below. So 280, 277. I wouldn't be surprised. Would not be surprised. I have 3 XFAs currently. Zuka-san, it's been a while. How you doing? I have 3 XFAs. This one is the one that's drawn out. I'm waiting on these two to get my payout confirmed to go back to trading them. I'm not going to trade them until they confirm and remove the amount that I took from each one of them. And I'm working on another couple combines that I'm trying to just go with 5. I kind of neglected that 100K account a bit, so it kind of deserved to be drawn down, right? Sometimes if you do a little bit much, you earn that drawdown. But that's how this game works, right? Leverage what you have when you're up, and then when you're down, you got to try and just build back out of it. I think this idea does still have legs to it. I think we could potentially see it push on up if you do get back above that 500, which pushes us back over the overnight low, which could get us through. And like I said, 544 is that key level there, that 544, 542 in there, 544.75 on my longer term chart there. That's going to be a make or break area where if we can't get back above it and hold, then you're going to possibly rotate down to 277. If not, if we can hold this, right, you can see this downtrend, bottom end of the channel, 2 kind of decent wicks pushing on up. I would like to see this give us that break above 507 and kind of move on. I'm going to give it on the combine. I'll give it the chance, maybe front run it. Running solo is hard in this game, right? Like I said, I think our room is great because I'm not really out here trying to give signals. I'm providing levels and broad market analysis and giving you kind of like generalities, keeping you company, trying to get you from doing dumb shit. We got the new mug out there. Don't do dumb shit mug out now. It kind of reminds you to sit on your hands when it's time to sit on your hands and hammer in when you're ready to go, but avoid that FOMO. So everything here, we just trying to, help be that kind of support system. And I'm glad you're back for a little bit. Don't be afraid to comment, ask questions, do what you got to do. We are running, like I said, I'm not trading the leader accounts because I'm just waiting for this. Hell yeah, man. Whenever you want. Where are you at, Zuka-san? Where are you based out of? Were you in Ohio? Is that you? I don't remember exactly where you said you lived at. Arizona. Cool. Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to coffee, out of country stuff tends to get pricey and weird with customs. So I deliver the coffee within the United States and Canada too. But Canada the shipping is a pricey. So if you really want it, we can work out some deals. But in America, in the 50 states, you're good to go. Even Puerto Rico, still a fair game. But when it comes to international coffee shipping, it becomes a bit of an issue. Otherwise, gear and stuff we could definitely make happen into the other countries if you are interested. I know you're in Arizona, so that's not a problem. But for some of the others who are in Dubai, we got somebody in Argentina, we got other countries. I got to make things work on the side to figure out shipping and stuff like that, and we'll make that happen for anybody who really wants to get involved in the Day Trading Coffee Co. world. Join the party, have some fun. I do want this combine to hit off on this if it gives it to me. So buy one there. And we'll get to 100K. I'll give it to it if it wants to give it to me. If it stops me out and I burn this one, it's all good. We'll go back to that combine. But like I said, we still have the 250Ks. This 100K, like I said, I was up about 1,000 on it, and then I've just kind of, not that I've done shit. I've done good trading behaviors, sticking to my plan, and just a little bit off on the timing on it. So we're waiting patiently for this account to just execute well and do what we got to do. Could have taken some really good trades on it and haven't totally executed perfectly. But on the other accounts, we've been green every single day on the stream. So can't be hating on it. We're going to see if we can squeeze over this overnight low. Or if it's going to be another retest failure. Postpone this update. Give it to me for a minute. Time go away. Some size at 520. Not huge, 30 lots, but it could get drawn up there at 20s. So if we get up into there, it could behoove me to get to even quickly, even though, like I said, I'm kind of not able to allow my strategy to work out perfectly because of this drawdown that I got potentially here. And if it gives it to me now, it's going to go. If not, I'm going to fail this and be done with it. Speeding up. Price is speeding up. Wants to go. Give it to me. I'm going to be at even because this account is doing that thing, but I needed to get up over that 20 to squeeze and give me a solid return on this entry criteria. There we go. Give it below 20. I don't want to get wicked out at 20. Earn myself another trade at least. Get up over that level. Get up over it. Don't stop me out. Come on now. Squeeze on up. Get through that overnight low and keep running for the rest of the day. All right, we're filled. I said that was going to be a squeeze from 7 to 20. The 20 level had that, and now it's wicking off and rotating again. If you fail 500 again, potentially watch for that rotation to continue on to the downside. You can see this nice, long, wide range here. Not going to take the short side, but good to buy myself one more good trade out of this. Still valid, still holding over our overnight lows. I kind of don't see the S&Ps playing along, though. So we got to see what's happening here. See if I can find some size on the books here. Nothing crazy, nothing showing, flashing maybe a 10 lot, nothing that's going to drag price around. Okay. NVIDIA, what are we doing on NVIDIA? Breaking the highs. And if it can hold 104.50, then this could rotate back up. If not, then this may rotate back down again. Do we rotate back down through 500 or do we continue back up to 44? Like I said, the decision point for me is 44.75 for it to either hold below and rotate down to 277 or squeeze up to 700 and maybe beyond. I think this is a good place This was my entry before. If we get over 20, I'm going to go in. Kind of wanted to get in at the low, at the overnight low. So there's a squeeze to pop right up into that 40. It's got to get through 40 though. If it gets through 40, we're going to take our stop to 40. We're at even, so technically we're still good to go. Let this thing squeeze on up, get ourselves from red to green. There we go. There's the actual break. Finally, my idea is playing out. It took fucking forever, but we're here. Executing a strategy like we should be doing. Let this thing go. I want to get all the way to VWAP. That'd be nice if we could squeeze 44. I'm going to leave this stop down here at the bottom here. If it stops me out, then that's fine. But like I said, I'm taking my money and running from that 44 level to be the decision point. If you could hold 44 and squeeze through it, potentially look for it to rotate out. I'm going to get stopped here probably. It's probably going to tell me that I got triggered after it's already up a bit. Doesn't seem like it's trying to hold 44 really, really strongly. If it can hold it, get above it, watch it run. Watch this run the rest of the day if it gets over 44. If it fails 44, like I said, though, watch out 277 down below. NVIDIA is running into a little bit of a chop here. If it can continue on to 106.24, the squeeze should be good. This could potentially get us all out of drawdown if it does hold that 44. It looks like it wants to fail, though. It's kind of just dancing around this level. Here we go. Squeeze it. Squeeze it for me one time. Give it to me one time. I am not going to take the profit until it tells me to trail out. If it does wick me out here, it's okay. I'm okay, but as I mentioned, there we go. So we went red to green on that. Nice little, pretty much two really good back-to-back good wins. And you can see 44. That was the decision point. 44 was the decision point right there. You could see that. How did you go red to green? Weren't you green? Did you go green to red to green? Come on, Scott. You better locked out that. Did you lock out the XFA at least? And you're just trading the... You just killing me, Scotty. My emotions are drained from you. I'm going to keep postponing this. Come on. You're up 600 on that XFA. I told you, lock out the XFA if you want to play with buttons and keep clicking. Just use the combine. You didn't get your mug yet, so you didn't remind yourself, but don't do dumb shit. Don't do dumb shit. You're up $1,200 on your XFA in 2 days. I'm going to do the don't do dumb shit chant. If you had the mug already, if it wasn't getting delivered today, then you never would have made that mistake because you would have looked down when you were drinking your coffee like, oh man, don't do dumb shit. Even though he just said it on stream, I can now see it for myself and I won't do dumb shit again. I am green on the day, Carlos. Good job. Lock yourself out 170. Look at that, man. You were down red to green, up a nice little one step forward. It's Friday. If you go red to green on a day like today, you know, for me personally with this combine, I mean, with this 100K, it's not a real red. I'm like break even right now. I kind of just earned myself one more really good trade. So I'm still on stream. I'm still trading. Oh, man, what I forgot to do, and I am definitely going to get screwed on it, is because I forgot that this combine had money on it. I forgot that I was on. I forgot that I entered in it, and I took a loss on it. Boo. But the failure of 500. Does this stay here, or does it rotate down once more? All right, so the combine, I forgot about. We made a really good trade on it. It was up. I didn't even trail it, so it was probably up. Let's see, did it get filled? We lost, obviously, 150 on it, so it wasn't even a full $200 loss, so fair enough. I'm going to sell it through this low on the combine only. Combine only here, folks. This is a risky play here for me. Don't do what I'm doing, but it could sell off and do what I wanted to do. Down to 277 after rejecting that 44. I want to get back that money that I missed out on from that trade I just took. So basically just took it. I'm going to let it run out now. The money that I lost, there we go. I got it back. I got back the money. That's the reason I took it only on the combine. That's not, don't do that. Just kind of playing with that. Scotty, you'll be back Monday. Everybody, come back Monday. I think we do a really good job here of calling out really nice plays, comfortable price action, understanding everything here. Right? Just talking through good theses, having a nice plan moving forward, understanding that, hey, this could just continue on downside. We could go from red to green. And hey, $46, that's one step closer to digging myself out of drawdown here on a Friday. I am not mad about it, right? There's a couple places where I could have executed a little bit more soundly. I was so focused on this account. This is why I don't like to trade multiple accounts and dance with them, because one of them always gets neglected. You can only focus on one. I think that's why copy trading is so appealing to so many people, because focusing on one thing and just maximizing your profits across multiple places is nice, right? You're able to really work on things a lot better and leverage the amount. Like once you start dancing around, unless you have a strategy for each account, it becomes difficult to manage. I can't deny it. Still waiting on my account to update the balances so I can trade them. But these accounts right here, we're going to go ahead and show you the month. Zuka-san hasn't been around, so welcome back, Zuka-san. This is what we did all last month here. We requested this times 2 in payouts, so we're pulling them all back to 2K and then building that buffer even bigger starting this month. I requested the payout 2, not last night, the night before. So hopefully by Monday, the account balance will reflect it so I can trade it comfortably without having anything. We were green every single day but that first day, but we weren't even on stream that day. I was affected by a hurricane, and I broke my rules of trading when internet outages. 50K times 2. We copy traded this across 2 accounts, did the same thing twice. So just slightly shy of a $7,000 month there. So pretty satisfied with just understanding we set the rules. We developed the don't do dumb shit mentality, right? The don't do dumb shit mentality. Take your base hits. Take your money when it's given to you. Don't go crazy. Lock it in. We really encourage that lockout button every single day. Everybody here that went red to green, if you were green and then red and then green again, lock it out, baby. It's Friday. Go enjoy your weekend. Anything else, right? We're just trying to encourage really good behaviors here. We were talking earlier about leveraging 20 accounts and all that stuff and all that nonsense that is spewed out there to promote people purchasing things. On a side note here, I am going to click this. See you Monday, Carlos. Always a pleasure, buddy. I'm going to update this. I don't know what it's going to do, so I'm glad I'm out. Okay. So now I don't know what the update was, but we'll see if it affects things negatively or positively. I'm going to go to community support in the top step, Discord, to just check on things, make sure that everything is fine. Top step X, just checking on these accounts. Damn, that short paid right there, baby. Really kind of saw that one coming with this is really our level failure, right? Very good point where it's failed break the other direction. We like to play here on this level. So I considered shorting that as well after taking that long and then failing 44. I said if 44 fails, if we can't hold that 44 multiple times, this is going to lead to possible sell-off into the 277 area, right? That's not out of the realm. You know, the way markets have been acting this week and the last few weeks, a lot of these trends and this expansionary price action has been playing out. So, you know, be careful if you do start to see, and you want to try and catch that bottom tick on longs and, be careful on that if you're going to be trading that way. If you have those setups, right? If you're trying to take a bottom tick or something like that on a bounce and you're going to rotate back up, could it be, a cheap trade? Yes, but there is a likelihood that we continue to roll over down now that we grab that liquidity there at 44, right? You have increasing delta as we approach these levels. So, aggressive buyers stepping into this level right here, right now. But you're still seeing price fading to the downside. We saw that yesterday with the ever-increasing delta divergence where aggressive sellers kept stepping in, and just kept getting run over. So don't get trapped by that. Some days you have to understand that aggressive delta buying does, like this on the downtrend, kind of continues that downtrend, because really what it's showing is they're buying into it, and they're just selling. Whoever's selling is just going to keep selling. And then when they give up, that's when this aggressive buyer gives up, then potentially maybe that's when you turn around. Oh, there's a 300 lot at 400. Whoa, 364 lot at 400. This is going to go down to 4 and see what happens at 400. It's not pulling. There's a 400 lot, 360 lot here at 400. See what happens when it hits 4. Let's see this decision point here. Let's see what happens when that 400 hits. If it's going to get front run or it's going to draw here and absolutely melt off. Let's see what happens. This is a really important level. Does this just run? Somebody front ran it. Looks like they're getting front run pretty good. All right, they front ran that 400. I still don't trust that they're not going to pull it there yet because it's still sitting on the book. It's running away from it. So that was we pulled it down to 400, and whoever was there front ran that 400 level. Good buying pressure. So I'm going to just put a note right here. There was a 300 plus lot This is just something that I want to note. Up overhead, I just see the same sort of normal algo flashes kind of popping in and out. 400, that size dissipated down to like 80. It's still sitting there though. The 80 is still big enough to move it. I want to see if we approach down to there, is that size going to show back up or not? Thank you, Zuka-san. Always a pleasure. Don't be afraid to come back every single day. We're always here. Whenever I'm not going to be here, I'll always post it. 8:30 to 11 every day Central Time. So try to keep the vibes chill. Try to keep the emotions level. Trying to keep everybody from doing dumb shit. So whenever you want to come back, we'll be here every single day. So I appreciate you coming back after the long hiatus. Sometimes doing it alone is not worth it. Sometimes you need to do it alone, though. That's kind of what it takes. Refocus in, regenerate, and get going. Delta getting back up. 10:03 here. This could, I want to just see if that size comes back. It seems like they're going to chase away from it. $440. I like the idea of the long through here and back to the overnight low. However, I think there is potentially the draw to that 400 level. I'm going to use the restroom real quick and I'll be right back. Watch these levels. We're away from my level, so I'm not really looking to execute. right, so seeing that 300 lot on the bid at 400 has kind of got front ran and held, I would be cautious to see what happens right around here. If it does want to accept back up over this kind of back into this wedge and see if it's going to do that or if it's going to pull into that 400, if that's going to act as a magnet. I'm going to continue to watch that so you can see it. You're not going to see my other chart for now, but I want to see what kind of size flashes on this surface dome. I want to see if I'm going to start dragging price one way or the other. I'm going to seriously consider possibly getting the book map when I get to a point where I want to invest a little bit more money into some of my analysis. Right now, like I said, I use mainly just key levels, my overnight highs and lows. I use all that stuff, and we've been pretty much consistently green every single day since we've been streaming since the beginning of July, right? Even today, back to green after that that first little failed break here. We took some good moves here, took our money, got our money back. I talked about that 44 level being very reactive, and if it holds and rotates, 277 is that downside target for this. So if we do get through 400, watch down here. 360 maybe be a area of rejection, and then also down into right there 280, 279, 277. So watching this, possibly look to see if it'll flush through this low here at 420s. Markets like to be clever and use funny numbers and do all that stuff. So watch out for it. So this chart is a little bit more congested than you normally see because we have re-entered back into older zones. I usually don't delete the older zones from past trading sessions. I'm going to this weekend. Once we've gone into those all-time high territories, reverted back into now the previous contract zones, these areas are pretty reactive. You can see right here. We are going to push into some of these other key levels. So this light blue is now going to be our opening range. So that light blue is the opening range. The yellow line, all the other lines are still remain the same. And we're just going to kind of see where price goes from there. I am slightly up on the day here in the 100K, trying to build this thing back out of the doldrums because I just didn't focus on it and earned myself a drawdown on that. But we are working on this at Combine as well. It's only 2 days old. We're up 1,300 on it and could still see some more growth. I'm a little more aggressive in the Combine, so if you are going to follow along, just note that I am going to be potentially in this Combine until we get back to other key levels, because if I see something on the order book, this is when I start to work on things. So I'll work on maybe front runs with this. I'll work on watching delta behaviors. I'll watch size on the book. If we can get some magnets, some size magnets, some really big size, if we're going to front run it or if we're going to draw straight to it, like that 400 level got front run right here. There was a 300 contract sitting at 300 plus, almost 400, sitting on the order there at 400. Maybe they front ran themselves, but you can see we still have yet to really break back out. So if you're going to front run a big contract level, you would want to see this thing run away from it and not come back to it. So if we come back to it, there's potentially more sell side pressure in on that. Who knows what they're going to do with that 400 as they draw you closer. I'm going to put that there. Maybe you can tell I like some old school crooning, some Frank Sinatra radio here today, Friday, non-farm Friday, another green day in the bag for everybody who's been on the chat. A lot of people locking out green. I love it. I love that use of the lockout button. I love don't do dumb shit. I love that, just that mentality that we're creating here. I think every week we're going to start to grow and grow and grow. As we reach some milestones, I'm going to do some giveaways just to support you guys who have been coming around time and time again. So if you do bring some friends, as next week, maybe we'll our accounts will be back to, the payouts will be done here, and they'll be able, not even done, but pulled from the account. I don't care when they hit my bank account, but I care that they get pulled from here so I could execute on my leader accounts and show you how we can continue to scale these 50K accounts to, a consistent profitability and just leverage one more and one more and one more. If every month you build up another combine and you continue to build that buffer on each of the combines, you're going to be in really good shape, right? I want to show you over here on the NVIDIA, right? I mentioned to you when we were approaching here, this is why I thought that long idea was going to come into play on our NASDAQ, right? Because I said NVIDIA's been our driving force for the entire time we've been trading, pretty much this entire year. So watching NVIDIA pull into this key major structure level, not only was it the pre-market level, I drew this dotted line up a while ago. This was not just like drawn up overnight, all right? This was drawn up. It came back, it retested that key 101.50 level and reacted to it. As we approached it here, the decision needed to be made, right? Are we going to react at this 101.50 or are we going to flush it? If it flushes it, that 100 level is a huge major psychological point for NVIDIA traders, right? I'm sure after the split, all that stuff, they never want to see this name below 100. Never. They don't want to see that ever again. So seeing that 100, they probably were saying, okay, 101.50, good place to buy, keep us back in the bullish environment for this. So that's kind of what I was looking at there. Coming back to here, you can see right back up to that overnight low again. If it creates that lower high here and then starts to rotate back down through this trend line, potentially watch for 440 down to 400. If we crack above 507 here, watch that 544 level again to see if that's going to be recovered or not, right? The top end of that. I'm not trading these, so I got to get off of them. In order to avoid mistakes on these accounts, the 50K account, we're going to lock it out. No trades on that. Lock me out. Yes, dismiss. Follower, same deal. I can't. It's locked out. So you could see I've locked this out. I'm not trading this 50K leader. I have no interest in risking any sort of money on the payout, right? I want to see my realized money. And then once it comes out of this account, then we can go back into it and do what we got to do. So if this now pushes up over this overnight low, I will be interested in potentially looking to go long through it again. Just playing my overnight level, seeing if it's going to be a failed rejection, or if it does fail it again and come back down, that could be the indication that now the short's going to be in. I think that 106 quarter. Hold on a second. We had one in the closet, but I think it was related to the water heater. They ended up coming and fixing it, so as of right now, everything is good. Cool. All set. That sounds good. Absolutely. Sorry, mid-thought, I had somebody come to check on the apartment, so I needed to make sure that they were able to get in. They have to do their little post-hurricane inspections constantly, so we're dealing with that still. Watching this low. If anybody's got anything that they're watching, you let me know. I'm going to actually stay on this combine, try and get a little bit more out of it today. I'm a little more aggressive, like I said, on my combines. You may see me execute a little bit away from my levels, trying new things. This is what the combines are for me. Obviously, I want to earn my funding and do it, but I have confidence in my abilities to, if I were to need to get back into a funded account, I could go and pass one of these accounts. And we are trying to pass it, right? We're not trying to pass it, but if I want to try and work on some executions and certain things that I think are going to play out, it's best for me to do it in a combine environment than in my personal, XFAs, right? I don't want to be doing that. So if I think that this third time through the overnight low is going to lead to the final actual real squeeze up and push, then potentially maybe that could be the case, right? Or we could rotate this back down and break through 440. Like I said, you stop sell through 440 and you get a nice little selling pressure. That's the kind of thought you have there. Or the break above here, stop buy above that. Whichever one triggers, that's my idea, right? I have no bias. Just let the market tell you what it wants to do. This is kind of just, like I said, I'm working on ideas here on this combine. Can only make 1,500 in it, so I'm up on the day. Still willing to risk some of that to get up to that $1,500 day for the combine. And like I said, that if that 44 level is holding, I think that potentially that rotation down to 277 does have a higher probability. Trying to recover this 53.41. NVIDIA is just dancing around at this 105. It's kind of wicked it twice and looks like it's rotating down. So potentially that if NVIDIA can break down through this 104 and change, then that could lead to the push down, like a nice heavy push to the downside once again through that trend line crack. Going to start really being good on my 100K there. Do my best. All right. Little fresh order on the books for Zuka-san. Thank you for purchasing. Let's allow it to go. Submit that order. Good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for supporting this business venture of mine. Home of the, I believe, Chicago Cubs spring training facility. Potentially. See if 80 holds or if it's going to squeeze. Beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. On the sea. Beyond the sea. Higher highs in Delta, lower high in price. That reverse divergence. Looking to kind of pull back. I'm trying to see if I see any size. 20s. Overhead, we got 20s, 30s. I love when they just flash the order and pull it. Spoofing is illegal, but they just do it all day, every day. But because if they have intentions to fill that order, then it's not necessarily spoofing. But with these HFTs, you really can't even say, oh, we're not spoofing. We're just putting our order on the book and we just pulled it because we didn't like the way price moved that one tick. There's no reason for them to say otherwise, right? Let's see. Don't you do it, Scott. Don't you, YOLO. Are you in the combine? You better have locked out that XFA. Okay. You go red to green and you lock out that bad boy. My combines, I do a little bit more aggressive work on them. Really just working on some ideas. I think that this could give us a heaviness here, just kind of based on the way NVIDIA is acting at these highs. It kind of stagnated a bit. We rejected 80. We rejected the overnight low. We rejected 44. I want to see if that 277 things play out. This should go quickly if it's going to go. If it's not going to go, then it'll reject immediately and rotate us out. But I'm going to leave that just over the body of that candle. Like I said, my combines are different than my funded accounts. I let them do a little bit more. I try to do work some ideas. I do trail still quickly if I see quickly needs to be done. Like right now, I'll definitely look to be even and then see where this trade goes. It's a free trade for me. What's the worst that happens? It stops me out for break even. Best case, I hit my profit target for the day and I'm done. Right? That kind of best case scenario. It melts off right here, right now and goes deeper, but we're a lot of liquidity there, right? And it seems like it wants to pop back up and stop us out at even. Still up 500, Yeah, that sounds like a really terrible idea there, Scott. Don't let the sales pitch trick you into bad trading habits. It's all sales pitch, and that's going to stop me out, and that's going to run. But I was even, so I'm cool with that. The body of this candle is where I had the initial stop at 57. This is just a choppy Friday. Like I said, I'm doing this on a combine. I locked out my 50Ks, so I don't even accidentally come into these and hit them and risk my payouts. The 100K, I'm starting my progress back to building this thing out. I went red to green. I didn't lock out yet because I'm not quite convinced that the day is done for me. I'm going to wait and see what happens with some of this price action, but there's a good chance that I will be locking that out. No, she didn't. She really traded in the pits? I know she was from Chicago. Hell yeah, good for her. Why the hell is she a dispatcher? She's bored. I think she's just bored. She was the president of a bank in Chicago and traded in the pits. That's like my ultimate dream right there. I know I talked to her about that she lived in Chicago. Do you know what she traded? She's probably a soybean trader. This is my idea here now. Failed breakdown, rotation. They didn't exist when she traded. There were no algos back when she's trading in the pits. This is all the advent of computer technology that really killed it. There's the squeeze right then and there, baby. Let's go. Come on now. Push up through those overnight lows. Give it to me here. Let's go. Push on up to the overnight lows. I'm going to let this thing pass the 50K, 1500 profit target here on a Friday. If we can get through that overnight low, then we're going to pass. Not pass, but we're going to be at the profit target for the day. So if we get through that overnight low, I'm going to trail up to there. And then whatever I get after that, that's it. I'm done. This is where you get that good sweep. You see that sweep of that low, trapping some shorts, looking to stop them out through this high. So that's where your stops could be. So you get the squeeze through that level. That's where you're going to get more, people being able to, they're going to sell to the buyers up here, right? If you get through that level. If it doesn't get through it, then so be it. But, right, I'm going to trail on up to the body of that candle. If it melts off of here, you know that the seller is still present. But the buyer looked like he really wanted to step in after that sweep of that low. Did not stop me out, surprisingly, somehow. This is how you do this, trades, right? Take what it's going to give you. If it's going to give you, take it. If not, don't. I'm not surprised. You're surprised. Are we surprised? Are we both surprised? What's going on here? Surprised. Rejection of that overnight low. $1,000 on the day. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Thank you for playing, Mr. Market. Could have took that on the 100K. I thought about it, but this is not away from... Surprised. Surprised. Give it to me. Beyond a doubt here. Give me this. Mentality. I think I have a problem. I should have been born in the 50s. I didn't want to live through the war, so I'll say 50s. And got you under my skin. A little Frank Sinatra. Yeah, World War II vet would be kind of sick, and I probably would survive because I believe in my ability to survive, but I could have easily just went and rolled to fucking the beaches of Normandy and just got mowed down. Yeah, absolutely. We're ruining YouTube right here with our musical selection, but I don't care anymore. We're going to keep that. I mean, I'm not monetized anyway, so they can take it and run. They can flag me all they want. Got to have some Frank Sinatra on while you're out here trying to beat the market makers. Could you get the flush of this again, right? What did I say last time? This is kind of a different setup type, but you get that false breakdown wedge. You try and stop out people here. If you don't get that squeeze, then potentially now you're going to try and run the stops below this. If you try and run the stops here, now you're going to get more people buying into your sells, and is that now liquidity to push it lower after you get this type of move? If not, you can see that there's probably stops above here again after this pullback, and you can run those stops again for the long side. So if we do actually crack the overnight low, that could look, like I said, right, like I was talking about here, that's where the stops should be, where the liquidity should come in. And if the seller that's present at 507 quarter-ish, 507, 508, this seller here, if they give up, the stops above here could be liquidity for more long pressures, and that's when short squeeze stuff happens. This is not what I want. Come on now. Give me Dean Martin radio. Let's see what Dean Martin has to say. Marvin Gaye. All right, we'll do a little Marvin Gaye. I'm not going to risk much more on this combine, but I do like that idea of a squeeze through the overnight low, pushing out the sellers. You can see S&P's trying to do that here. S&P's right here looking to do the same thing. Is this going to be another rotation, though? That's the question. Or is this the actual true now push breaking through? Do you take it on the 100K? A break of the overnight low. Start supporting local music. What do you want? Some Mexican OT or something? What do you want? Paul Wall in this? What is local Houston music? Beyonce? Sorry, I started my career in the Marcy projects. I'm more of a Jay-Z, Biggie guy. Can't help it. I started my career in the Marcy projects, and then I moved to Times Square. So I went from Marcy to Madison Square, pretty much exactly like Jay-Z said. And then I decided to move to Texas, Houston, because Jay-Z married Beyonce, and the connection is all there. Clearly, I followed his career, and I'm on track for $1 billion. Boo. That is a pretty trash song. The more you think about it, it's a pretty trash song. I don't know who Zero is. So that's another thing. I've never heard of a Zero. And it just might be my lack of that. Yeah, definitely don't have that in my banks. Ending the week very strong here. Everything that we're doing here live on tradecaster.com, live on YouTube. This is every single day. I'm doing this all the time. I'm presenting you your options, your opportunities, allowing you to make your own decisions, but educating you at the same time. So hopefully you get some value out of it. If you do, share it with your friends, your family, and if people you think may like to join in the fun, let them know about what we do here and how we can benefit from, just having good conversations on a day-to-day basis. And, whatever I can do to help is what I can do to help. But we've been green on stream pretty much, like I said, since July, the very beginning of July. We're on a nice little green streak here. This account here could get passed on Monday, and we'll have 3 50Ks copied across, and hopefully we'll have our payout confirmed, so they pull out all of the dollars that I don't want to have at risk, and then I can go back to trading those leaders. I like looking at the top step payout chart to give myself some more hope as well. You can see whenever there's a nice little large payout, people are out here. Somebody taking a 25K payout. That's good. That's good stuff right there. We want to see that. That's how you know this is a healthy company. We're getting payouts for 25 Gs. You're getting another. Shiftown has had multiple payouts for 25 Gs, right? You're getting consistent payouts. One of these will be mine when it pops up. I'll show you, but it's not there yet. They're a little bit slightly delayed in the payout. Usually it's the same day. I've heard lately it's every 2 days. I'm going to go ahead and take this on the 100K if we squeeze this overnight low. This is my overnight low squeeze idea. With NVIDIA trying to pop the high of the day, I think this could give us that idea here to work out. Getting aggressive buyers coming in. If it doesn't go now, I'm just going to call it a day. But this is the one time I want to try it. I'm not going to chase it. Like I said, once it goes, it should go quickly. It should not, once this guy disappears here, whatever this wall of sellers is, it gives up, should squeeze out those stops. On an evening in Roma. We're in long. Let's see if we can hold this level or not. It should have squeezed through there pretty quickly. Or if it's going to squeeze, it should go now, right? That seller finally gave up at that spot, so this shouldn't have failed. If it's going to fail, then it's going to probably roll over quite heavily. This is an area where you would expect those stops to be run, and we're out flat. Still flat on that. Like I said, I wanted to try it once. It didn't go there. This is probably the time it does go. There it goes. I'm going for it. Screw it. Let's do it. Get through that 20. I think we get to 40s again. Kind of chase this entry a little bit. I don't like it. Bad entry. Bad entry. Boo on me. Could have held that level. Bring it on. 35. That's that trap right there. This entry right here, that 509. See, like what I talked about with this being this account getting a little bit drawn down by a little bit of chop. This is actually the right play. I think this is where the squeeze does come play, but we just did not quite get the good fills on it, and we chased it a little, and we got stopped when we could have still been good and entered and long and healthy still in this trade, right? Up 20 points or so. So that's my issue of what I have been doing on this account. That 44 once again is going to get tagged. So there's that move, right? This is the idea of what's going to happen at this 507. I had a great entry and I got stopped out on it. So that's just kind of how trading goes. At 44 level, once again, we just broke through the high on NVIDIA. So high of the day break, 44 is going. Let's see what happens here. This is the decision point where it's going to squeeze up to VWAP or not. And I had a great entry, right? And I still lost on it. So you can't be so mad about it. Just got to move on. Unfortunately, like I said, this 100K count's just been beaten down, and it just, every execution I make on it, it seems to be just a little off, right? Just a little off on this 100K. Like I said, this account, I'm still working on this. This works really great. Yeah, it's fine to do it. I just, personally, like I said, I'm tight on this 100K when I shouldn't be. And that was a really great entry there from 5. I got in at 510, got wicked out, and then tried it again at 520, got wicked out, and now we're up, 40 points. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to buy it at the highs. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to burn this account. There we go. Burned it, just so I don't play with it anymore. So there we go. All right. So there we go, and it's going to continue to move on. You get that pressure through it, and we're going. So now we're back to just the 50Ks. I'm okay with that. Just got to get rid of the bad account and move on to a new one. Should have just locked it out or somehow made this execution work a little bit better. Choking on water. 10:30 here. Oh, sorry. Yelling in the microphone. Choking on that water. But that was a really great talk. Like, we talked through this really, really good. Just because my trade didn't work on it doesn't mean that it didn't work. It didn't get the breathing room that I wanted to have because of the drawdown limit on that account. It's what it is sometimes. This is where we expected that long to start coming in. And I bet you I bank out, like, this would have probably netted me $2,000 on it. I mean, I'm going to say it now. This is probably going to start to squeeze up. And I am not able to capitalize on it just because of the period of drawdown we are on that 100K. So ideas are correct. Still calling out really good trades here. Talking about catching a little short, flipping long, catching the long here. When that seller gives up at that level right there where I drew this arrow, when this seller gives up right here, boom, 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 you're getting this squeeze on up to 44. When you get to 44, now you got to make a decision. Is it going to continue to press on up through 44, or are we going to get another rotation back down the other way, right? Are we going to get that 44 to push us back down, or are we going to continue back up on that side, right? So if we actually got a true risk to reward on this, where we let this thing breathe a little bit and didn't just let it go. We should have probably let that go there at 507. We were at 510 to 44. You're at 1,200 on that, 1,300 on that trade. Built us out of that drawdown, and then we're back in business. But instead, we do that lockout game. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? I'm just working on building better habits, waiting for levels to play. And they did. They played out really, really nicely. So can't hate on it. Oop, I was trying to do the volume. There we go. Sorry, it was a little loud. About 20 minutes left in the stream for the week. We had a really great week so far. Obviously, this is Friday. It's the end of the week. You can see now that this seller gave up. You're starting to see that rotation back towards VWAP, approaching back towards the at opening range print. We did have that opening range, and the S&P is much higher. It's up over here, 830. It's in that range right there, that white line. So if you are, seeing that little bit where NQ is leading to the high side, NVIDIA is still at highs of day. Watch out for that. If you're going to trade longer, go for it. You can see this 300 lot on the bid at 400 acted as major support here. It got front run, and anybody who kind of bought and front run that front 400 level has been paid. So you can see that that's where they're getting paid from. There could be much better management of my 100K account, and that's fine. We can get back to it Monday morning. Hopefully, like I said, they get us with our payouts all completed, and we can get back to our leader accounts, get back refocused in, hammering into really good executions day in and day out, and keep you guys making good money. Your goal here is to get paid out and then just continue to build those accounts time and time again. So we are working on building good habits. That 100K account was a few ticks away on multiple trades on being huge winners. So I'm like just off on that 100K. And instead of being huge winners, I'm ticking myself out. So I'm not giving them a little bit of breathing room that I need to. So that's just an adjustment I need to make within those other accounts. Still with the 50K account, we have not lost since the beginning of July. So we can see that here in these 50Ks. Have not lost since the beginning of July. We had that one loser on that first day, and since then we've been green every day. Have not traded in August yet because we have not gotten our, we're going to add our journal. No trades until the payout is confirmed. So these are things that I add to my journals so that if they are reviewing me for any sort of movement to live or something like that, they can see my thought processes on my journals as well. We can see the follower. Got to add that note to the follower as well. No trades on this account until payout is confirmed. Fine to start, end this week with 2 days of just we're not trading. We made 7, 8, 9, a little over $1,000, just shy of $1,200 this week in the 50Ks. So times 2, $2,400 this week, and we're gonna work on building this this combine up. I do have a couple $100 left that I could make today that will ease the burden on Monday to pass that account. So we'll see if that does come in. We'll go from there. So this is the when we're working on things, right, on the combines. If we're working on, seeing this sweep here, seeing if the break of that's going to follow through, seeing if this 400 lot's going to hold, noticing that this first sweep acted as like a trap. So being able to execute on that long because we saw that trap trailing up to the overnight low, seeing that being there, the large seller there, then talking through saying, hey, when this gives up here, this overnight low level, if this gives up, we're going to start to squeeze and push up because that's where that liquidity was kind of just being bottled up. And I mentioned if 44 holds, then 700 probably comes in. And if 700 comes in, we probably start to push and start to stair step to the upside with this in mind, right? We tried to flush this again. We never made it through, and we held it twice on 30-minute candles, and now we're back up over 44. So 44 acting as the level that I was talking about, being a very significant level and a line in the sand for bulls to take control and or the bearish momentum to continue on, right? So this, to me, was kind of a clear low point where people were probably building into orders, and that's why you see this being built into. Start to get higher lows, start to accumulate below this point where there seems to be, you want to kind of push out of it. Yes, should I have made money on this trade? Absolutely. Instead, I ended up losing on it because of the just tightness of that account. Instead of just letting that account breathe and do its thing, that 100K account, once you start to draw it down, you kind of just work it until it doesn't do what you want. And it's, just part of the funding game that you have to play here. Like I said, I'm very safely in the buffer zone with my two 50Ks. I'm going to build this up here. If I can get this up over, that 52 and have myself get an ability to pass this on Monday, then we will be able to have the 350Ks hopefully activated next week. And then I'll have another combine that resets come next Friday. So I'm going to wait and let that one come to me, and then I should have 4 once I can pass that one, and then I can execute on having 5 full accounts. That would be the ideal, 4 50Ks and 100K. And that 100K is pretty much burnt. So maybe I'll get another 100K, maybe I'll get 2 more 50Ks. But overall, I'm really focused on those 2 XFAs being my main accounts, and we'll go from there. Let's see, yes. NVIDIA is starting to wedge out, kind of running into that 70% long on the tilt. We got 15 minutes left in the trading session. We just tagged off on the opening range low, trying to hold that VWAP area. Can this be a sell point? Possible. It could be a cheap short here for you if you wanted to try to fade that 600 level. I would like to see S&Ps up a little higher before that does come into play. So maybe let it rotate one more time up before trying to fail it. But technically, it does have that ability. Could pull back, retest, and then rotate off of 44 again, 544. Hopefully everybody has a great weekend. We had a really good week. Once again, we're just trying to build up our funding, one more funding account at a time, while we wait for our payouts to get confirmed. Top Step pays out. They do. I know they do. I've been paid. They continuously post their payments. It's every day. It's just, I'm sure they're built up and waiting. Maybe instead of 1 day, it's 2 days now. I'm not too concerned about that. As long as they pay, I'll be happy. I just want to get the money out of this account so I can start trading my funded account again, my other funded accounts, my leaders with the buffer, and just start leveraging in onto those. As always, if you want the Don't Do Dumb Shit mug, it is posted in the link in the alerts. It's also I'll post it here. Oh, nope, that's not it. This is the Don't Do Dumb Shit mug here. I'm going to give that to everybody in the chat. And it's pinned to the top of the YouTube. So if you are on YouTube, you can always click over there, take a look. As always, this weekend, I will be doing my weekly write-up. You could always go over to daytradingcoffeeco.com and hit off on education. Once you get into this education tab, all my weekly analyses are in here every Sunday night. And then I do post some coffee education, obviously our Lightspeed partnership. So if you are interested in Lightspeed, click through and use that link. You could use code COFFEE and it'll lower your ability to get into a Lightspeed account to 5K instead of 10K minimum balance. So that's a good thing. And a lot of good fee structure, all that jazz right there for you. But you could always find my weekly market analysis every Sunday night. I post it around midnight. It's when I get home from work. That's what I like the timing of it when I like to post it. So if you are reading it on a weekly basis, I will have it out there for you every single week. I do it for myself. If you have anything that you want me to add to the write-up, go ahead and click in there and type into that box at the very bottom, right? If you click into my weekly market analysis and you go to the very bottom, there is a form here. You can fill out this form. Once you fill out that form, it'll tell me that, hey, whoever signed up, whoever did this here, has this idea. They want you to add this into your weekly analysis. That's something I want to do moving forward. So if you have anything that you want to add, then do it. It was pretty clean. I think that long through the overnight low here was clean. I just didn't allow it to develop as much. Yeah, absolutely. I think we could get a retest of 44 and see what happens at that level. NVIDIA is pulling back into the previous high and now wants to kind of retest that 24 level. Let's see if it retests that 106.25 and then pulls out of it. Like I said, the stream's over at 11 Central Time. So, hopefully you go into the week. Everybody else locked out who has funded accounts made some money today. If you had combines and you locked out, you made good progress. You don't do dumb shit. You get out here and you execute when your setups come to play, right? This was a really good entry. I just decided to not trade it correctly. I got wicked in, wicked out. Could have waited one more second on it, potentially. And then when I got that secondary entry, it just locked me out because I didn't have enough room to draw down. But otherwise, it was a really good execution here to get this thing back up into VWAP, talking through the reasons why, not just having a trade because of X, Y, and Z, but like having good reasoning behind all your trade ideas is going to be really helpful for you to understand, okay, sometimes you get whipped out, sometimes you don't, sometimes you make the trade and it executes right and you kind of build on it. Sometimes you don't. If you have an account that you've kind of drawn down and you're battling through, do your best to battle out of it. But at some point that account just is at a point where it's in panic mode and it doesn't have that room to let you build out of it. So I kind of just call it a cost of doing business, and then you move on to the next trade. And next account, next trade, take your payouts, move on. Like I said, on Sunday, I will post that right up for you guys. If you guys are so inclined to read it, let me know if you like it, you don't like it, post a comment. I will continue to do it day in and day out, week in and week out. We'll be out here executing our plan, as always, here on tradecaster.com. Just kind of going through our performance stats for all of the accounts for the week. If we go into the 50Ks, right? We traded the first 3 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, made really excellent trades. Even yesterday, we made a really good call in the very beginning of the session, right around 950-ish, a little bit before that maybe, or right around there, and called out like a $400 trade there. So we would have locked out on that one, another green straight day. And today we went red to green, and then I decided to go red again on it, but that was on the 100K. These two 2 days have no executions because I'm waiting for my payout to adjust the account balance, right? So if I can get my account balance adjusted correctly, then we can go back to trading this and having the full on strategy. Hopefully by Monday, it'll all be kind of settled, and then, I was just waiting for my payout to come in, and then I could execute on the account. You can see that this combine here, we're up 50K combine. We're up $1,000 on the day on a couple of good moves. Played this breakdown, trailed it out real quick, and then we played this fade because we saw that was a trap, right? Let's see if this does come down into the 44 level. Obviously, VWAP is a little off. There we go. Retest it on VWAP like Ray wanted. See if he took it again. Calling out good trades day in and day out and understanding the dynamics of market movements, just allowing those good theses to play out. If you don't have a trade or you play away from your levels, then just understand that you might be doing dumb shit, right? We're going to look to see this combine is going to start to build in some other pieces of another strategy and start to work it. I want to be able to get 5 full XFAs going and copied at the same time. Maybe keep 1 or 2 rotating for the payout schedule, seemingly to be a little bit slower than usual. So I may do 2 separate types of accounts. It's just going to be a wait and see once we do leverage into all 5 gold accounts. We'll see what happens. Other than that, it's a great week. We're taking a payout. We're building into another combine that's going to get passed by next week. We had a green week here on stream. We had really good milestones. We had Scott pass his. We had Ray pass his combine. We had Scrooge out here getting, Yeah, absolutely, Scott. You got up 1,000 on the XFA. Scrooge is out here, making really good adjustments, using that lockout button, keeping that ability to work these trades up. So we got people making good progress within the family here who, have had some times of, going through it, but now we're all, getting onto this nice little streak. You're going to go through ups and downs, but if we could limit the downside on the downs and really maximize our ups on, maybe not necessarily trade dollar amounts, but executions and staying away from doing dumb shit. And hold on, Valare's on. We can't not allow this to play out. Whoa. I love it. Let's get it. I do. This is my goal for what I want to do. Right. I want to be able to do this full time. I want to be able to be on stream, till 11 every day, maximize my benefits from trading. Also being able to help people if we want to be able to. Yes, that's right. I'll be your godfather out here if you want. I could be the market making godfather if you want. That'd be a nice little strategy there for gaining new people. But like I said, I think realistically we're building a nice little foundation of a community here, just keeping it as real as possible. If we can keep it as real as possible, I think more people are going to start to join in. You're going to get one, person at a time going other places and coming back and saying, hey, this is a really, a good place to trade. I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to talk shit to you because I think it's helpful. But at the same time, give you your props when props is due. Like, I'm really proud of you guys for doing, passing these accounts. It's not an easy task, right? A lot of people fall into the trap like we were talking about earlier. Yeah, hell yeah. When they get into it, let me know. Just like I said, we're here every day to just kind of keep each other accountable. I'm going to just talk through, little tidbits of information because I'm just maybe a little bit further along in the journey than you. I'm not going to say like some of these other influencers. I'm not an influencer by any means, but like I said, as an instructor, I guess I would consider myself at this point teaching and kind of walking you through the journey, a couple of steps ahead of making all the mistakes that you've made and trying to help you avoid making those mistakes. I appreciate the compliment, Scott. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm just trying to do my best to kind of just talk through it and give you guys more information that, sometimes when I start talking, the information that I store in the back comes back to the front and then I start to keep going with it. So if I start to ramble on about some things, just let me know. Or if you are learning from what I'm talking about, if I touch on a subject and then pull away from it, if you want me to dive into those things, on days where we have something like this or where we're kind of just going through the end of a session, as I'm able to do it more full time, as I'm able to do it for longer periods of time, maybe like my trading stream is from 8:30 to 11, and then my education 100%, like we're going to focus on like how AK does it. AK on his room, pretty much his lunch hour trading, stream is all about kind of going through a lesson of the day, kind of understanding that. And if I can do that for a bigger group of people, then it makes it more worthwhile. And, if I can get a little bit more consistent on the payouts, I can get a little bit, dig myself out of a hole. I think realistically we can do this longer term, but that's like a little bit down the road when I can get myself into this more full time, right? We're going to see what happens with that. And yeah, I'll definitely do that each and every day. And like I said, I kind of do that on a daily basis, trying to keep you guys a little bit more distracted when I'm away from my personal levels and when I think that price is going to just not give you much follow through. Like kind of like right now, right? Where it's a Friday, summertime, pretty much the last Friday in that really like heavy summer environment. And we're going to start to, August is still a summer environment, but kids down here are starting to go to school second week of August. Up north, you start to see September is where the kids go back to school. Traders are done going on vacation. They're coming back, like the big time people are trying to really hammer in stuff. Non-farm is gone. Fed meeting is gone. So you're getting rid of a lot of that data points. So you're going to get this kind of slowing of price action. It's 11 o'clock. You're going to get into lunch hour. People are going to go home early on a Friday. Yes, you might get some moves, but do you have your trades, right? That's what you always have to think about. I may have a move, but did I have my trade, my setup? So if I could leave you for the weekend with one quick little reminder of don't do dumb shit. Links in the chat, links in the bio, whatever you want to do. Follow me on Policing Pips. Follow me at Day Trading Coffee Co. And on Instagram, on Twitter as well. I don't tweet that much. I do most of my notifications, most of my other stuff on Instagram. Tell your friends, tell your family. If we get the Tradecaster stream back over 50 on a day-to-day basis, I'll do a giveaway. I don't know what I'm going to do for the giveaway. Probably some Day Trading Coffee Co. stuff. If I decide on it at that time, I will do that. So we will, we've done a few giveaways here every time we've hit off on that 50 viewer mark. So if you invite people, get people in here, I want to do that more and more and more. And then as I get my affiliate code, when you guys do decide that this is worth paying for, then don't be afraid to show your boy some love. But until then, I don't really, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for the help of you guys and trying to keep it as educational and as realistic as possible, right? Trading with a family, trading with a job, trying to manage a company, and still having a family life, still doing other things. You can do this, and it doesn't have to be the only thing you do, and you can still make good money, and it still can be that. If you want it to be the full-time thing, you have to set up an exit strategy. You have to get yourself, built up into maybe a big buffer in your personal, finances and whatnot, and that's another step that we would like to take in the future. But you have to have an exit plan. You can't just jump out and do it. Otherwise, it's going to just lead to too much pressure on your trading, and you're not going to trade the correct way, right? So let's take it one step at a time. You passed your combines. If you haven't passed, you're making good progress in your combines. Go into the weekend having a really successful week. Reflect on the good stuff, reflect on the bad things, write down the don't do dumb shit list. I can make a don't do dumb shit list that's a mile long, right? But make your own that's going to keep you in the game long term. Remember, my write-up's going to be posted probably just before midnight Eastern time, midnight Central time, after I get home from work on Sunday. So until then, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Like I said, the more people we get in here, either YouTube and Tradecaster, I really want to push everybody to Tradecaster. I think it's just a really nice place for like the environment. The conversation is here. You can, there's a lot of good information. And then if you're bored of me, you could always jump to another room and learn from all really good traders. You don't have to jump through YouTube and find another trader, It's a really great community. So I wouldn't be here if I didn't think so, right? I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for, anything other than I think it's a great spot for people to learn. So Deck is one of the best, and you guys are lucky to have this community here to work off of. So until Monday, if anybody has anything else, I'm going to let you speak now or forever hold your peace. We're going to be done. We good? All right. I'm going to go take a couple minutes, focus on some orders that I got, and then also get ready for work and roll into the weekend. Really positive week, like I said, and let's roll that momentum into the rest of August, right? We have more winning days than losing days, and you're going to be just fine in this game, all right? Scott, make sure you're locked out. I know it's tempting. Lock that shit out. I know you did already, but I'm reminding you, lock it out. All right. Talk to you guys Monday morning, 8:30 Central. Peace out.